What's up, guys? You're listening to Confessions of a Gym Rat, getting you through the 9 to 5 as healthily and happily as possible. Hope you guys had a fabulous week and a fabulous weekend. I am back in New Jersey, so I have a lot to catch up with you guys about because if you were listening to last week's episode, which I hope you were, I recorded it on Thursday, but it released Monday because I left Friday to go back to California. You know, you following along with me. So I had to I had to record the episode on Thursday because I wasn't going to be home. It was when I had to get it done. But Speak Now, Taylor's version was coming out on Friday. And I was kind of going back and forth, like, do I wait? Like, and then I was like, no, I can't. I won't have time to do it when I'm away, even if I bring like my mic and stuff. So we're just going to have to talk about Speak Now, Taylor's version today. But before I get into that, I've got quite the story to tell you guys. And hopefully you're here because you took the clickbait on my Instagram story where I was like, I have an additional part to this whole running story, but I'm only going to tell it on the podcast, so you're going to have to listen. Let me paint the picture for you. So I woke up yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday, so Saturday morning. And if you wear contacts, you know what it feels like when there's like a rip in your contact or there's something in it and it's just your eye kind of like twitches and waters up and you can't really like open it. So I wake up yesterday and I have this weighted sleeping mask. Side note, fantastic. I was never like a sleeping mask type of girl, but I got this one in like a FabFitFun box a few years ago and I noticed that it actually like knocks me out like immediately. So when I can't sleep, I just take the weighted sleeping mask and it works like a charm. So I put it on and it stays in place. It's not like one of those flimsy, like I got one of the flimsy ones too, bring it on airplanes. It's not one of those like flimsy masks that it's like you put it on at night, you wake up and it's on the other side of your bed. This one's like picture weighted blanket, but eye mask. Okay, you follow me? So I wake up and it stays in place. So I woke up yesterday morning, literally regained consciousness. And I was like, whoa, there is something in my right eye. Like, this hurts. So I take the face mask off or the eye mask, whatever you want to call it. And I try and open my eye and I get that like sharp pain and my eye's like twitching, it's tearing, it's not opening. So then I'm like, whoa, can I not open my eye? So I let a few minutes pass and the pain kind of like the sharp pain kind of goes away. Like I was like rubbing over it a little and it's still like, it still feels like there's something in there, but I can open my eye. It's just tearing. So like I take a look, like I bust out my phone. There's nothing in there. Like it doesn't really, like it looks a little red because I irritated it, but there's nothing in my eye. Like it doesn't really look like anything. So then I close my left eye because it's my right eye and I'm like, okay, but my vision's really blurry. Maybe it's just because I was tearing, like who knows? So a few minutes pass by, I'm just laying in bed, trying to find the will to get up because that's a whole nother different story. I finally get my butt out of bed, go to the bathroom, I put on my glasses because normally when there's something wrong with your eye, like you don't want to put your contacts in, like you want to let your eyes breathe. So I'm like, let me just put on my glasses. Made it so much worse because I could see clearly out of my right eye now, or my left eye, I'm sorry, but my right eye is still blurry through the glasses. And I shut my left eye again and I'm like, yeah, this is totally blurry. So I call the eye doctor and I'm like, hey, can I please come in today? Something's wrong with my eyes. Like I'm kind of nervous. Don't want to mess around with the eyes. Don't need to go blind. So they're like, yeah, sure. Okay, come in at 2. So I have to go to the gym because I got a busy day. And I'm like, you know what? I got to put my contacts in. It is what it is. Hate working out in my glasses. I get all sweaty. They slide down my face. It's just not happening. So I go to the gym, or I should say I put my contacts in. I thought it was going to be painful, but it actually made the pain a little better. Now it's like I could still feel something like in towards the corner of my eye, but for the most part, like I'm fine. So I'm like, all right, let's do this workout. Do my workout, I'm fine. I go to the eye doctor, take my contacts out, I have my glasses in, tell the eye doctor what's going on, and he's like, all right, let's put some yellow dye in your eye and let me take a look through the microscope. Yellow dye, kind of funky. Not really sure what it is, but I don't know. It does the trick. I guess he could see stuff better. So I put my little chin on the thing. I'm looking at like through the little lenses, and immediately he's like, oh yeah, you scratched yourself. And I'm like, but how? Because I woke up with my sleeping mask on. Like I had it on the whole night. And he's like, I don't know. But you have 2 linear lines going right across your eyeball. That's why it hurts. You scratch yourself. And I'm like, how the hell did I manage to do that? Under the eye mask. In my sleep. So then I'm like, okay, well, what now? And he's like, oh, don't worry. The eyes are the quickest growing part of or quickest healing part of the body. You should be fine like in 2 days by the end of the weekend. If you're not, come back. I'll give you some antibiotics, but wear your contacts. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, wear your contacts because the contact puts a barrier between your eyelid and your eyeball. So when you blink, you're not rubbing up against that scratched surface and irritating it. And I'm like, this is fantastic news because I'm supposed to go out later. And I want to wear, like, I don't want to wear my glasses. I want to wear my contacts. So I'm like, all right, doc, thank you very much. I'll watch these nails, I suppose. Still not sure how I managed to claw myself in my sleep, but whatever, I guess. I can't dwell on that. So I go about my day. I get ready. I wash my hair. I do my makeup. I'm out at the bar having a great time with my friends. Went to Parker House this weekend, which I'm like never at the Jersey Shore anymore. I mean, I live at the Jersey Shore, but I don't really go out down there that much because I've been doing things. I'm there for a few hours, and then I go to find my friend. Like I'm looking around for him. And some girl, I guess, is just classic New Jersey Italians talking with the hands, just swings her hand back and just backhands me right into my right eye. I'm getting my right and left confused. Yeah, right eye. And she didn't even notice. And some guy standing next to her was like, dude, you just hit her. And she turns around. She's like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And I'm like, it's fine. But I think you knocked my contact out of my eyeball. So now she's got her flashlight out. She's like telling me, oh, it's in the corner. So I try and grab it. It's not in the corner. I'm like, then I touch my own eyeball, which I'm like, I don't need to be doing that right now. Like, that's disgusting. So germy and gross. So she's like trying to look for it, like trying to save the day. And I'm like, lady, it's gone. It was an accident. I'm not going to have a black eye. Like, you're fine. Just my contact's gone. So I only had like 1 drink because I fully intended on driving home that night. Sleep in my own bed. I don't want a hangover. Like, this is like my new thing. Now, like I don't need to get wasted. When I don't even really need to get drunk. I'll have 1 drink, loosen up a little, have a great time, and then I'll be sober to drive myself home. Except the problem is that I'm -6.5 in this eye, my right eye. I can't get in my car and drive with only 1 eye. That's highly dangerous to myself and other people on the road. And there are a lot of cops out at night by the shore too. So I had to text my dad. I'm like, hey, you doing anything? Somebody accidentally just swatted my contact out of my eyeball, so I can't drive home. And my dad's like, not a problem. Like, I'll come and get you. Like, credits for being a responsible child, I guess. But yeah. So then, of course, it's like I'm keeping my eye closed, walking around like this, I don't know, like I have problems until I left the bar because blinking, again, without the contact, hurts the scratch in my eye. So I was just walking around like an idiot for like a good half hour until my dad came and got me. And now I've retrieved my car. I've got my contacts in. And hopefully by the time you listen to this episode, my eye is healed and feeling better. But yeah, that was the first one for me. That was a new one. And I'm sure a lot of you guys wear contacts. So I guess the new thing is bring an extra pair when you go to the bar because you never know when it's going to get swatted out of your eyeball. Yeah. Listen, I haven't heard of any stories similar to that. But that's my story for the week. I told you guys I want to go over some things. So I'm thinking about breaking them off into different sections. But there's one more thing I wanted to talk about before I get into all my other stuff. So I'm gonna go over like my opinions on the Emmy nominations, just some of them. You know what? Why don't I do that right now? Yeah, I'll just throw it in right now. Okay, so the Emmy nominations came out this week, and I'm actually very excited for them. I don't really like watch many award shows. Like I prefer the Grammys, like the CMA awards, but I've watched a lot of TV this past year. I've watched a lot. And there's Succession, White Lotus, The Last of Us, like House of the Dragon, like they're all getting nominated. I don't know about House of the Dragon, actually. I might have just pulled that one out of thin air. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to watch the Emmys this year. And then I saw that Vanderpump Rules got nominated for an Emmy, which left me like, I had mixed opinions on it. I think that the crew, like production, definitely deserves to be recognized for the fact that like they were wrapped up. Like season finale was edited, ready to go. And when all this Scandival stuff broke in March, they had to pick up the cameras and just roll in a time crunch. Like get all these people, organize it all, get the cameras rolling, edit it all, and produce this whole new final episode. When it was like technically probably supposed to be these people's like off seasons. I imagine they had a little bit of a break before filming started again in June. So I definitely think that they need to be recognized for that. And listen, as far as unscripted TV goes, this was a hell of a season. Hell of a season. But like the part that sits wrong with me is like Tom Sandoval and Rachel Leviss winning an Emmy for being disgusting human beings. Listen, if it was my ex that had an 8-month affair with me and then won an Emmy for it, it wouldn't sit right with me. But I guess, you know, they're part of what happened, and I don't know. That's my opinions on that. I don't think it's like one of those Emmys that's on TV. You know how like only a certain amount of them are on TV and then the rest are just like kind of announced, which is a shame because I would pay money to see James Kennedy get up on that stage and make an acceptance speech. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, I do think that I'm going to watch though, and I'm finding myself torn. Like I was looking at all the different nominations, and there's ones where it's like Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us is getting recognized, but so is oh gosh, why am I blanking now? So is like Kieran Cole. I think it was like one where it's like Kieran Culkin was nominated, and so is Pedro Pascal, and I'm like, God, Kieran Culkin had such a good 4th season and is such a good actor. Like, he just did such a good job with Roman Roy. But also, The Last of Us was insanely good. And Pedro Pascal did a phenomenal job playing Joel, especially in the first episode when he's holding Sarah's dead body and won't let go, even though Tommy's like, dude, she's gone. Damn. So I'm finding myself torn. I think there's some categories where I'm like, I'll be happy if whoever wins this, because I loved all of these shows. There were, in my opinion, too many White Lotus nominations. I mean, I get it. Like everybody has their own storyline, so it's like it's a lot of different people got nominated. I just didn't think that The White Lotus was up to par with season 1, nor do I think it's on the same level of Succession and The Last of Us. And there's other shows. I haven't watched Ted Lasso. I haven't watched Shrinking because I don't have Apple TV, but I love Jason Segel. What's some other ones? I don't know. Or haven't watched Abbott Elementary. I got to get on that one, though. And I haven't watched The Bear. But The Bear I'm going to start today, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. But my point is, I just didn't think that The White Lotus, I think it got one too many nominations. It was good. It was good TV. It wasn't awesome TV, though. Like, I don't think the woman that played the receptionist at the hotel or the manager, like, didn't really care for her. Michael Imperioli, better in Sopranos than he was in The White Lotus. I think, what's her face? I'm totally blanking on her name. Haley Joy something. The one that was in the Jonas Brothers music video, like the girl who got kidnapped, almost died. I think she did a phenomenal job. Her and the skinny guy. I'm totally forgetting their names. And what's her face? Oh my God, why am I blanking? Parks and Rec. You guys know who I'm talking about. So yeah, long story short, I think that there were some good characters in The White Lotus, but overall, I won't be too happy if they come out with an outstanding number of Emmy nominations over the other ones. But yeah, no, it'll be exciting. I'm very curious. Like, I would love to hear your guys' opinions on like what your favorite shows were, what category you're most excited to see, because you know that I watch so much TV, and I love that it's like all my like Succession, like they're getting nominated, and then my, for lack of better word, trash TV like Vanderpump Rules is also getting nominated. I love it. It's such a like overstimulating moment for me where I'm like all the things that I love are coming together for one night. So I can't wait. I can't wait on that. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys before we get into some more serious stuff is Speak Now Taylor's version, and more specifically, the whole Taylor Lautner incident. So last weekend, when Speak Now Taylor's version released, first of all, I made a dumb move, and I thought I downloaded it to my phone so I could listen to it on the plane on repeat, but I didn't. I don't know what happened, but now it's saved on my phone. So I couldn't listen to it offline, and I was sad about that. But I was pretty offline last week. I was with my friend and her family in California. On Saturday, we took a day trip to San Diego. Like, I was just very present in the moment, and I wasn't really on my phone. And I start getting all these like tweet notifications on my lock screen. Like, oh my God, Taylor Lautner showing up to the Eras Tour on the day of Speak Now Taylor's version release is insane. And in my head, I'm like, wait, what? Like, that is kind of insane. And then I'm getting, oh my God, Taylor Lautner's up on stage. Oh my God, Taylor Lautner's doing backflips on stage. Oh my God, Taylor Lautner's in her music video doing his own stunts. And then the pictures with the three Taylors pointing at each other. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was not on my phone for like one weekend. What happened? What did I miss? So I'm caught up on it now, and I'm sure you're caught up on it too. So I just want to give my thoughts and opinions on it. First of all, Speak Now was always my favorite Taylor album. I used to sit on the floor with it in my CD player, reading the cover, like the cover pamphlet of the CD, and just following along with the words. Like, it just brought me back to that time when I was in 6th grade, so I must have been like 11. Yeah, I was like 11 listening to that album, and then to hear all the songs again at 24, it was honestly a little bit overwhelming for me at first. Like, I had a full meltdown before it even came out, just thinking about how much my life has changed and how much has happened. Like for a quick little backstory here, I was in a terrible, terrible relationship with a person named John when I was 19. You see what I'm getting at here? So the songs just hit, like, I just got so overwhelmed. Never Grow Up, I'll never listen to. The only time I listen to Never Grow Up is when I'm like depressed. Like, seriously, like, that's not a joke. Like, if I'm listening to that song, like, tell my parents I'm not doing well. Yeah, like, Dear John hits very, very hard for me. Things like Last Kiss, like The Story of Us, like, I loved the songs because they were beautiful and the lyrics were great when they came out when I was 11. But at 24, I feel them and like resonate with them. So I was very excited for the album to come out. I'll just say that. And it made me so happy to see the two Taylors, or the three Taylors, I guess, together. I always loved Taylor Squared. That was my favorite Taylor Swift relationship growing up. I was a huge Twilight junkie, so it was like the best of both worlds here. And yeah, I don't know. It makes me happy that even though they're older now, but they're able to have such a good relationship. And I feel like people can learn for that, where it's like, obviously, there's some relationships that bad things occur and you don't have to end on good terms, but some relationships just fade out. Some people just fall out of love. And you don't have to hate someone just because they're ex-boyfriend. If they give you a reason to hate, sure. But you don't have to like have bad blood with someone just because you used to be in a relationship with them. And it was just very nostalgic too, to see them all. And then he started doing backflips and I was so confused and so overwhelmed. But you also don't really see Taylor Swift's exes like acknowledge her songs. And obviously his is a good one. And he's said like, hey, I like it. So for me, it was really cool too, just to see him like acknowledge it and appreciate it and like accept the apology. I don't know. That was just a huge Swiftie moment for me. But that's all I'm gonna drone on about for today. We're gonna get into some highlights and then I'm gonna do a Q&A for you guys. I don't think I have too many Q's though. So it's gonna be short, but you're gonna wanna stick around for this week's interview. I had such an amazing interview that, I'll get into who it's with later. I'm sure you could tell by the title of this anyway, but we talked a lot about like your body changing during pregnancy and just all the like physical things like a woman has to go through and struggles and stuff, because I know that that's something that I have concerns for down the road. So if you're a young female like me, I think that you'll feel really secure after hearing this interview. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode. Get into some highlights for the week, starting with my health and fitness related highlights. So I had taken 4 days off of the gym last week. I was away. I worked out on Friday when I was in LA, but Saturday, wait, I'll save that for my highlight. Okay. Sorry, almost spoiled the other part. Saturday, Nush and I, my friend, took a day trip to San Diego. When we came back, we went out to dinner, and then we went to LA, like West Hollywood afterwards. Sunday, we had our cousin's graduation party, and then Monday, I was busy all day. So I took some days off. I got home. Wednesday was my first day back in the gym. I killed my quads. Not even an exaggeration. I was sore from Thursday up until Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, tough. Saturday, still tough. Now it's Sunday and I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but yeah, it was it was good. It's like I was itching to get back. I didn't really want to take like 4 whole days off, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So yeah, I was definitely itching to get back. But I also think my body like needed that rest. So when I came back, I came back strong this week and I'm feeling good. So, God, this microphone. Okay, we're good, buddy? You gonna stay? Okay. So yeah, that was my health and fitness related highlight. Just the best workout of my week. That's it. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. And then my non-health and fitness related highlight is kind of like a health and fitness related highlight too, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Nush and I went on a hike through the Hollywood Hills, and I'd never done that before. I'm normally just more on the west side when I do go to LA. So we figured it out ourselves. It was 5 miles. I think it took us like an hour and a half or something like that. And we saw the sign. We kind of got lost a little bit, but it was a really beautiful day outside. Like, it's been so humid over here on the East Coast. It is so nice over on the West Coast right now. So I wasn't like drenched in sweat. Got a nice good walk in. It was tough going uphill. Not so bad on the way back. And I got to see some really, really beautiful things. So I'll post pictures probably on Instagram so you guys could see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was definitely my non-health and fitness. Plus, it was like a good time. Like, it was just us, not on our phones, just talking to each other, getting some movement in. It was an awesome thing to do with a friend. So those are my health and fitness, or those are my highlights for the week. And as always, I encourage you guys to just sit and reflect on one or two things that you're happy about from this week that might be small, but just remind you that, it's life may be beating your ass sometimes, but we still have good parts to it. It's a good mindset exercise. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't know what's going on with Instagram lately, but everything seems to be so wacky and different. Like, just my reach has gone down, like comments and stuff. And then I used to post question polls and you guys would go bananas on Instagram and I'd be getting all these questions. And now I post my question polls and I don't really get anything from them. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I just overshare and you guys don't want to know anything else about my life. But I put up a question poll today on my Instagram story. It was like, for this podcast episode, in addition to the interview with Presley later, I wanted to do like a quick little Q&A. Ask me anything. Ask me stuff about the gym. Ask me stuff about my life. I thought I was going to get juicier questions, though. I'm not going to lie. So maybe we'll do a part 2 another time. Yeah. Anyway, so I do have some, though, that I'm going to go over and I'm going to read them off to you. Christy asks, how do you balance lifting and cardio for fat loss and for muscle gain? So they are two different things. I think what she was trying to ask, because it actually said, how do you balance lifting and cardio for fat loss and muscle gain? You can't really focus on both at the same time. Losing and gaining are two opposites. And it's been a while since I talked about it, so I'll go a little bit in depth. But losing fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. Gaining muscle, you have to be in a surplus. So you really shouldn't be focusing on both at the same time. That is the number one mistake people make. You can't lose and gain at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. So for when I am cutting and trying to lose some fat, I up my cardio intensity. And I normally do cardio about 3 to 4 times a week. And then I try and get like as close to 10,000 steps every day. In the winter, when I'm bulking, I do a more low impact cardio, like just nothing too crazy. It's really just to make sure that my heart is still getting some exercise. So everything's in check in that department. But basically, I'll increase the cardio a little bit by intensity-wise when I cut. That's a simple answer, really. Next question, Maya asks, tip for engaging lats during lat pull downs. My forearms and biceps keep overcompensating. This is a phenomenal question, Maya. This is something that I struggled with for a long time and didn't really understand, but I totally know what you mean. And it's normal you're going to feel it in your forearms. You are going to feel it in your biceps, but I'm glad that you recognize that they're overcompensating and that you're not really feeling it in your lats. So here's a few things that you want to pay attention to. When you're doing a lat pull down, you want to make sure that you're leaning back slightly. Like if you're watching on YouTube, you just saw what I did. And then you're staying like that throughout the whole exercise. You don't want your torso to be bobbling around, like moving back and forth, because that's a sign that your body, your back is calling in other muscles to help perform the exercise. So that's like if your body's moving, going back and forth while you're pulling up and down and whatever, that means your biceps are probably doing more work than they should. So that's the first little tip. And then the second part, I didn't really get this until recently. You want to make sure that you're squeezing at your lats the entire time and that they're engaged beforehand. So, Maya, since this is your question, I highly recommend watching this part on YouTube just because I'm a very physical talker, if that makes sense. Like I'm doing a little demonstration now. But before you start the lat pull down, you want to kind of squeeze at your lats. So your hands will be on the bar and you kind of just want to pull your lats down a little bit, or like your shoulder blades, and you should feel that squeeze in the top of your lats. Okay? And then I want you to maintain that squeeze the entire time. Keep squeezing through your back. Those two things are going to help tremendously. All right. Yancy asks, how long have you been training? I have been training since 2017. I would say that 2017, 2018, I didn't really, obviously I'm always growing. I'm always learning more stuff. I'm always continuing to improve myself. But it took me, like those first 2 years, I never had a personal trainer. Social media and fitness influencers were not like a thing like they are now. So it took me a while to learn, and I went through my period of making mistakes and doing all that kind of stuff. But I really started making the gym a consistent part of my lifestyle in 2017. So now it's been 6 years, which is kind of scary. Ugh. Tony says, can I take you out? I live in LA. No. Okay. Next question. Gerard asks, would you date someone who isn't in the fitness industry, realistically speaking? My answer is yes, but to clarify on that, like I wouldn't date somebody who doesn't regularly exercise, because it's a big part of my life. So that's something that we would definitely have in common. And also like, I just really take time prioritizing like my health inside and out. And I can't really see myself getting along with somebody who doesn't. Like friends, sure, but I wouldn't date somebody who doesn't exercise. Not necessarily like go to the gym, but if you're not exercising on a regular basis, I just don't see how much we would have in common. But I honestly don't really want to date somebody in the fitness industry. Never have. Don't think I want to. I don't know. I just feel like this is my space. This is my thing. It's not that I would be like opposed to it. Yeah, I shouldn't say I don't want to, but I never have. It's not like I'm looking for that. I'd say I'm pretty much looking everywhere else, honestly, than that, just because this is my thing. I've been doing it for a while, and I don't want to feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to feel like it's a competition. Also, you guys know my stance on bodybuilding competitions. Like, it's just not my thing. A lot of guys in the fitness industry do compete and stuff. And I just I like to go to the bar. I like to have fun. I like to do all that stuff. And I just don't think that that's like, I don't know. I can't see myself being with somebody like that. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just like my personal, like who I am as a person. Again, I can have friends like this, but dating someone's a little bit different. Last question is from Victoria. New follower here. Welcome. Advice on fitness journey. Genuine, but I don't know where to start. So there's a few different routes you can take here. The first one, the one that I would say is like probably the best use of your time and energy, is to get a personal trainer. You could work with me if you want to. I'm very, very willing to help you. But seriously, getting a personal trainer is probably the best route that you can go. You don't necessarily have to stick with them for a while, but it'll help you, one, like stay accountable on getting a routine. Like if you're paying for it and somebody's depending on you to show up, you got to show up. And then they could also just teach you the basics, you know, what exercises work, different muscles, is your form correct and stuff. So that's definitely the best way to get on track and learn the fastest. I, though, didn't take that route. I grew up playing sports, so I was kind of like, I don't need a personal trainer. I'll figure it out. And I am a quick learner. It just took me time to find the resources and stuff. So if you do not want to go the personal training route, definitely utilize the resources that you have. You can use my Instagram for workout inspiration. I also have an app that's like cheaper than personal training, so you could use that for structured workouts. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a really good book. It's called The Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, I think. Something like that, but that'll teach you a lot of basics. And then as far as like a routine goes, I always recommend starting off small. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, you know, because it's like, it gets very easy to be like, oh my gosh, I went 5 days last week and 5 days the week before that, but I'm really tired. I can't do it this week, blah, blah, blah. And just feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied and disappointed in yourself. So I always tell my new clients, start off with like 2 to 3 days a week. You're going to fall in love with it because everybody falls in love with the feeling after exercise. It literally releases happy chemicals in our brain. And then you can kick it up from there. When I started, I wasn't going like 5 days a week. And then I was like, holy crap, this is the best part of my day. I need to exercise every day. And now here I am. So those are my two biggest pieces of advice. Educate yourself on nutrition as well, because that's one thing that took me a while and set me back. But yeah, so those are my questions for the week. Not as many as I hoped. Thought we were gonna get a little juicy, but I'll take it. I'll stop complaining. We still have a very, very exciting interview to what's the word? Now I'm having like a dumb moment right now. I don't know. Point is, questions, done, interview. Let's do it. All right, everyone. Well, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of Confessions of a Gym Rat. I hope you have a fabulous, happy, healthy week. Make sure that you stay tuned for Petula's launch on the 20th. There's going to be some amazing pieces you're going to want to check out. I'm obsessed with all of them. I wore the right shirt for that. That was good. That was good pun. Okay. Anyway, though, seriously, make sure that you stay tuned for that. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lifts with Liz. Follow the podcast on Instagram at Confessions of a Gym Rat. And then subscribe on YouTube at Lifts with Liz. I had to think about that for a second. Now I'm having a brain fart today. Whatever. I'm going to close it off here. I hope you have a fabulous, happy, healthy week, and I will talk to you next Monday.